Evolution of computers. Introduction. After watching this chapter, you will be able to identify and list early calculating devices. Mention the characteristics of earlier devices. List the features of generation of computers. Identify and list types of computers. Dear children, you all have learnt about the computer and its different parts in your previous classes. You also know the computers help us in doing numerous tasks as well as many calculations easily. You can also perform many other activities on the computer. But have you ever imagined how computers were developed and evolved over the years to what you presently see in front of you? In the early days, people used stones, sticks, or bones for counting. But it was obviously not possible to do big calculations using them. Early calculating device. Let us take a glimpse at some of earlier devices. Abacus. Abacus was the first calculating device. It was invented by the Chinese about 5,000 years ago. The rectangular frame of the abacus had a series of vertical rods on which a number of wooden beads were allowed to slide up and down freely. The abacus was used to do simple calculations like additions and subtractions. The three most popular types of the abacuses were the Chinese, Japanese, and Russian. Pascaline. Blaise Pascal, a French mathematician, invented Pascaline in 1642. It was used to do the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division functions. Pascaline machine was made up of a rectangular box with 8 movable wheels. It could also do the carryover operation automatically. Pascaline is also known as Pascal's adding machine. Napier bones. Napier bones was a calculating device made by John Napier. It was mainly used to do multiplication and division tasks. This device consisted of a board with a rim. The board's left edge was divided into 9 squares having the numbers 1 to 9. The Napier's rods had strips of wood bearing some numbers for carrying out the calculations. Leibniz calculator. Leibniz invented a machine to perform mainly the multiplication and division functions. It improved upon Pascal's adding machine. This is mainly made up of steel and copper. Jacquard's loom. Jacquard's loom was invented by Joseph Mary Jacquard in 1801. It was the first machine to use punched cards to control a sequence of operations. A punch card is a piece of paper that contains the information for doing calculation. This information is represented by the holes in it. Difference engine. Charles Babbage developed the difference machine in 1823. This machine could solve complex functions and calculations of mathematics. Improvements were being made on this machine, and finally, in 1834, Charles Babbage named his improvised version of difference engine as analytical engine. Analytical engine. Analytical engine was the improved version of the difference engine. Charles Babbage invented this machine in 1834. It was capable of performing all the basic arithmetical operations and comparisons. It also had the capability to change the values stored in its memory. Analytical engine was based upon the concept of input-process-output. It also had the capability to change values already stored in its memory. This machine was powered by a steam engine. The inputs were provided through punch cards and output had a printer plotter and a bell. Must know. Charles Babbage is known as the father of computer. He evolved the concept of a programmable computer.